Alrighty guys, so bit of maintenance video here today. So yeah, we did go for a 52 sprocket on the MX5. Just wanted to try it out really, and it's got a lot more torque, so it is pretty snappy now. So hopefully the X9000 controller and V3, super excited for that to come. Hopefully that smooths out that power delivery. But yeah, super happy with how it's going. We put a new chain on it, obviously not a ring chain, so it's not as wide. But I just need to tighten that up because after the first ride, it's actually really slack now. It's just hitting that chain guide quite hard, rattling everywhere. So we're going to do a couple of things today. So we're going to take the slack off that chain a bit, which is charging it, getting ready for tomorrow's ride. And we're also going to put some new bars on that we just got literally 2 seconds ago in the mail from Warp 9, and I cannot wait to put these on. So let's unbox them for you and let's have a look, right? So always nice getting new bars just before the day you go riding to then try them out. But pretty much the reason that we got these bars was because the bars that are on there now, even though I've got the direct mount Warp 9 stem riser kit, it's still too low. After like about an hour, your back still starts getting sore for my height. So I found that I'm probably going to need a riser. Plus, these are just better bars. Like these are so light. These are featherweight light. These Warp 9 bars. I went with the magnesium colour. Really nice. Look at that. I think it's going to go really nice in the blue. So yeah, can't wait to put them on. We've ordered a couple different parts as well. So before we get into this maintenance and the install of the bars, I'll just explain a couple of things that we've got coming for the bike. So obviously I told you that we've got the X9000 V3. That's the big one that's coming that we can't wait. That should be arriving next week. I did order a new sticker kit from it just to personalise it a little bit. So we're going to take these original OEM stickers off, and I won't tell you this colour scheme, but it's something that I've always loved, and it's from like a previous bike that I've owned, and I've always loved those bikes. It's that kind of colour scheme, so I'll keep that a secret and do a reveal when I install those stickers. What else do we have? We've got a couple other things as well in the pipeline. I know from my cousin's bike as well, so we've got a rear linkage for his bike, which I'm going to do an install video on, and I'm going to show you how to put the 16-inch rim on, what you need to do to make it fit properly, so from start to finish, to get that 16-19 stance, but then with the riser linkage at the back as well. I'm also going to do a set your sag video as well, so that'll be separate, but that will be coming. I'm probably actually going to do that today. So once I do all the maintenance stuff, before we go out riding tomorrow, let's set up the suspension on this bike. It's not going to be too extensive. I know some other videos on YouTube that go into way more detail, but pretty much just show you how I do it, and like how I do it by myself with all my gear on, and just get the bike performing how it should be performing. So with that said, let's start taking apart this handlebar kit. So I'll just bring the camera a bit closer so you can actually see what we're doing. I might actually put it just here at the front of the bike. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, cool. Cool. Alright, so first things first, let's take all the controls off the handlebars. So let's get our Allen keys out and start on that. So we'll start with the hand guards, because it's super easy to take off. And so hopefully you can see that. So handguards off, all controls off, and you're pretty much just changing the button. It's a super simple task, but I just like to do installs, and so you can watch the build process on absolutely everything on this bike. Even if it's a simple one, I want to show you guys anyway, because there's guys out there that have never twisted a tool in their life and won't know how to do the simple things either. So I'm just showing you my steps of how I would do it, and then you guys can then do it however you like. There's no real right way to do it, as long as you take all the stuff off and then put it back on the same way. That's really it. And make sure we're not losing anything, so don't do what I'm doing. Don't put this stuff on the seat of the bike. Put it all in one pile so it doesn't go missing. Because the amount of times, and I've worked on bikes for years, and cars and bikes and whatever, jet skis, and the amount of times you go and put something somewhere and you're like, oh my god, where'd it go? Because you're so preoccupied pulling things apart that you've then lost components to what you're pulling apart. And then when you go to put it back together, you get this anxiety that you're just gone missing. So keep it all in one spot. So we've got the handling guards here, bolts here, everything else. I do have a mic coming as well, so if you can't hear me that good, I do apologise. But the mic is coming, so yeah, bear with me on that. That'll be the next video, 100%. So let's now take the actual this kit off, like all this stuff. So we'll take the brakes off. So front and right brakes off. I can't tell you guys how excited I am to do this build on this bike. Like, so I did watch a range test on the MX5 as well, and I mean, it didn't do too well compared to the newer bikes, but you do have to remember when this thing was first released, it was kind of like the creme de la creme, as we say. It means like the best of the best at that time in this size class bike. And then once this was released, like the very next year, which was this year, pretty much all these new brands came out, as well as E-Ride came out with their SR, and even their 3.0 just blew everything out of the water. And they're running these 72 volt batteries, which is the same power output. However, they've got these larger capacities, 45 amp hours, 53 amp hours. You know, there's the Ventus one, like it's got some crazy range. So it's a bit hard for this thing to compete. And Talaria just hasn't made a battery for it that's big enough yet, that I know of personally. Please, Talaria, if you ever listen to this, make a bigger battery for this. I will purchase it direct from you, because I am lacking a little bit in range. Like, if I want to go for a little bit longer ride, I just don't, because I'm just like, nah, it's not going to be fun, because I'm going to be like, oh no, I'm on 30% and I'm way far from my car. Let's turn back, you know. So it kind of limits you, and I understand they're not enduro bikes and they're not supposed to go for these massive long rides, and they are fun bikes. However, sometimes I like going on long rides that are fun rides, like, but no, I have to go home and charge the bike back up, and by that time I'm thrashed, so I'm just going to go and rest. Whereas I kind of would like to kind of just stay out on the track whilst my adrenaline's running and keep going. So yeah, I think if we can get a bigger battery in this thing, and then with the X9000, which boasts 23 kilowatts, then you're definitely competing with those bigger bikes that come out with like 28 kilowatts and 20 kilowatts and whatnot. Not bigger bikes, but bigger power bikes with longer range. Because personally, like, I haven't ridden those bikes, but from what I'm hearing, the MX5 is just built so well, and the finish on it is beautiful, and it's really sturdy, and people love riding it. But the range is lacking, and the power just lacks just a little bit compared to the other ones now. I'll tell you right now, I think the power's great, because I haven't ridden the other ones, but I'm sure if I did ride an E-Ride, SR, or a Ventus, or an Arctic Leopard, I'd be pretty impressed with the power, for sure. Not gonna lie. 20-something kilowatt out of one of these bikes. To be honest, I don't know if I want to go that fast. Like, then you're looking at, like, it's really dangerous. Alright, so we're just gonna rest this here, because we don't want to just leave brake lines hanging there that could possibly kink. and yeah, don't want to get into that. So let's just undo the brake sensors and everything here, the wiring, and then we're just gonna see how the brake. Just gonna tuck these over here so they're supported and out of the way. All right. Next thing would be, let's get this display off, as well as I'm gonna have to take this grip off and everything else in here too. So let's have a look. It's not as straightforward as everyone might think. It's just, oh yeah, change bars, it's easy, you know. It's not actually easy. Like, if you don't know what you're doing and you've never handled a tool or whatever, it can be it is easy, but it's time consuming, and then like to get it all right, it can become frustrating because you're like, oh, where'd that go and where'd this go, and you know, I feel like some guys, yeah, it just comes natural and they can do it however, and it's super easy for them. But then that's not the case for everyone. So this is more for the super novice, younger guys, most likely, that have never done any of this before. But I've had heaps of bikes, so quite a bit of experience with it. Okay, so I will end up probably changing these grips too, because I don't really like them that much. They're just too what's it called? It's too thick. I like a bit thinner grips. But for now, we'll chuck them on the other one. But let's. I think we could probably slide this off, because I don't really want to. I think we just loosen it and slide it off. So we're going to take the grips off regardless. Usually, what I like to do with the grips is grab a bit of WD-40 and spray it in, and then they just. Righto, guys. Grips on. Let's do that brake lever. Run that tape around. Again. Don't be too generous. You don't need much. They're looking pretty cool. I definitely love that high. So much better. So much So like we said, we're not tightening anything. Nip it up. Don't go crazy. Ooh, a bit too much. Okay, so now we're going to jump on the bike. We're going to get a feel for it. Just to feel what it feels like. So then we can tighten everything up. So let's keep these three, these three Allen keys on us, and just adjust, because you might not like how it feels if you tighten everything up and then you got to redo it. So let's get rid of all that. Bring the bike over here. Oopsies. So first thing we should tighten is the bars. Tighten the bars first. If anything, I should have put some tape. That would have scratched a touch, but it's okay. Okay, so that's center, but we want it a bit forward like that. Yeah, much better. Much better. Okay. Let's grab that big Allen key. Making sure these are all routed correctly before I go tightening anything. But yes, it is. It's fine. So make sure that they're really tight. Like don't skimp out from tightening the bars down. They need to be properly tighter. Yep, they're even too. Perfect. Controls are in the perfect position too. That was never like that though, so I gotta fix that and move it. Yeah, and that's why we didn't tighten anything, so don't worry about that. Don't get distracted. So when we tighten these, we like to do them in crisscross fashion. Don't do one super tight and then go to the next one. That is not how you do bar cleans up. So go diagonal. Boom, boom. Okay. Cool. That's pretty good. Awesome. Next. Let's do this side. Let's get this side right. So we want to firstly adjust where we want the brake lever to sit. So I don't want it too low when I'm standing up. I want my hand to be nice and flat. I don't want it to be like this. That's how you get too much arm pump. So I want it to be nice and flat. So even maybe slightly down. Yeah, like there. That's perfect. That's perfect. Oops. That's alright, we can reroute them because they unplug. Oops. We won't worry about these for now because I'm just going to nip them up. But they just go in the same spot. What we might do is I might actually just take the bike out. I'll just nip this one up the same and take the bike out so then I can show you guys and then I'll end the video there. That's perfect. let's take the bike out so we can actually show you what it looks like. Super nice. We won't put the handguards on yet, but the main handguards are pretty self-explanatory, so you shouldn't have to worry too much about them. Just take it off charge. Take it out in the daylight so you can see, because I know that the camera was probably not looking great. Alrighty guys, that's what it looks like with the new bars. Much better, way higher. Yes, very nice. Obviously we've got to tidy up the cabling, so pay no attention to all that. That will get tidied up in due time, but so much nicer. I'm loving that magnesium colour. Yeah, the magnesium on the blue is looking the goods. Yeah, oh man, it's gonna be so much more comfortable to ride with the higher bars. Makes all the difference. As soon as you put bars on and you change the ergonomics of any bike, I just feel like it just changes the whole bike. It changes the whole riding experience. With the 16, 19s, you put some bars on and like, that's it. Got a whole new bike just for not that much money. So, you know, awesome guys. All right, I'm going to leave it there, and we'll see you back out in the track for a review on the bars and some exciting stuff to come. And we'll do a separate video on the maintenance stuff. Cheers.